Welcome back to Good Day Columbia, everyone. Fraendy Clervaud reporting live outside of the South Carolina Department of Revenue. Folks, it's that time, Monday, April the 15th. Uncle Sam is looking for his stuff. And of course, we know there's some people that are procrastinating. The deadline is by midnight tonight. And if you need some help with that, the Department of Revenue is here to help you out. They're hosting a tax forms drive-thru. Almost sounds like a fast food restaurant type of deal, right? But of course, Ms. Samantha Cheek with the Department of Revenue is here to explain just a little bit more to us. Good morning, Samantha.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for having us bright and early.
Sure thing.
What can people expect when they come to this tax forms drive-thru?
We are out here this morning at the tax forms drive-thru on the last day to file income tax returns, and we are asking individuals, inviting them out to drive through, either drop off their income tax returns or pick up a tax return, and we'll process it here, and so they can meet that April 15th deadline.
Okay, so you all be processing, so they don't have to really worry about having to worry about, oh my goodness, when did I get this file? Because you all can be able to do that.
Right. We're out here at 300A Outlet Point Boulevard. It's our new location, and we will be taking the income tax returns and processing them here, so they'll meet that deadline.
What about if I'm home and I'm looking at the time and I tell myself, I'm not going to make the midnight deadline, and I know there's some penalties. What's going to happen to me? Or are there any options?
Well, first of all, we always encourage individuals to file electronically. It's more beneficial to the taxpayer as well as to the state of South Carolina. It's more efficient. If you file and pay your taxes electronically, you have until May 1st to do so. But if you don't think you'll meet that deadline, you cannot file electronically. You can file an extension with the IRS, and the state also honors that extension. And the extension is October 15th.
That's really good to know. So, okay, October 15th, for those of you folks who are scratching your heads this morning trying to figure out what to do, that is the extension. But of course, you have to file that extension. How would someone file an extension? They file at the office with you all, or could they do that online?
They file that through the IRS, and then the state will honor that extension.
And how about the state income taxes? We know there's two different dates, correct, for filing your state income tax.
Well, there's the April 15th deadline for paper filers, but if you are going to file electronically, you do have that May 1st deadline. It's just another incentive to encourage electronic filing with taxpayers, but we always wish for you to honor the April 15th deadline as well.
Absolutely. Samantha Cheek with the Department of Revenue. Thank you so much for that. South Carolina Department of Revenue. We already have a few folks that are already standing in line. They're waiting to that 8:30 time clock to start. And you can see right here to my left-hand side, you can see that there's already a table that has already been posted with a sign. That's where they will be collecting those forms. And there will be quite a number of employees from the Department of Revenue that will be out here as well. So if you have any questions and you're trying to figure out, what exactly can I do? Can I do this? Can I do that? They'll be on hand helping you with those questions. Fraendy Clervaud reporting live from outside the South Carolina Department of Revenue. April 15th is here, folks. You have a midnight deadline tonight to file your taxes, or you might face some penalties. Now, there is, for those of you who don't have the opportunity to turn in to file your taxes rather by the midnight deadline tonight, you can also file an extension. Now, the South Carolina Department of Revenue is hosting a tax form drive-thru. Check it out behind me here. You can see there's a table that has been set up. And what happens is that if you need to fill in your taxes, there are different forms right here that you can fill out. You can drop off to the employees that are here. They'll be able to process that for you. Now, since we've been here this morning, quite a number of folks have already dropped off their taxes to be sent off. Now, of course, as long as the stamp for tonight by midnight is on there, you'll be okay. Now, also to remember, if you are filing electronically for the state, you have until May the 1st to do that, but that's just if you're filing electronically. However, if you're writing it in through paper, today is the deadline for that. So once again, make sure when you're coming here this morning to the Department of Revenue, there are folks on hand to answer your questions. We know some folks may have questions about their businesses, about independent contracting, and also as well as what do they actually have to submit. Making sure when you come on in to this morning, you have your W-2 forms, all of that. Once again, folks have already been taking advantage this morning, making sure that they've been speaking to different folks. We did see about two guys that were here this morning speaking to a representative that worked here for the Department of Revenue, so getting their questions asked here. So, of course, folks, they'll be here until 5 o'clock today, so that gives you enough time to come on out, answer your questions, and make sure that you don't have that penalty when you're trying to file your taxes again a little bit later. And for those of you that are looking for those extensions go up until October. Reporting live outside the South Carolina Department of Revenue, I'm Fraendy Clervaud.